Antti Koikula, people call me Yogi, and let me introduce the other organizers, Raimo, Juha, Jonas. We are the four ones here to catch if you have any questions or so. But I also would like to that all the people from Open Knowledge Finland board members would raise their hands and maybe show their faces. Stand up to Juha, Jussi, Tarmo. And Sanna is missing at the moment. But this is really the first actually event of the Open Knowledge Foundation Finland. Some of you might know that this newly established organization from December, and there is the logo of the organization. But many of us, we already know each other from before. But this is at the same time gathering of the whole Open Knowledge community. In Finland we have around 70 people here present. Some will come later. Most of us will stay overnight, and some of us are abroad, at least one from Sweden. And this is a bilingual event, so in the plenary, this is the plenary room, meaning that here we are all together. We will speak English, and in the sessions, if the session name is in English, it means that the people there are prepared to speak English. But if the session name is in Finnish, it probably means that if you are a non-Finnish speaker, you might try to avoid those sessions. But I would like to make such an introduction of the people. We don't, of course, go around of the names. But if you would stand up and find a place so that if you think that you know more than half of the room, the people here, you go this side, and those who think like me that I know almost everybody, I don't know almost everybody, but probably most of the people, so I will be this end, and then if you know something like 70-60% go there, and if you are completely new that you don't know anybody else from the room, then you will be on that end. So that kind of stand-up what is this like? Exercise. Yes. Use muotoon. Use circle. Yes. This end here, if you know almost many people, and here if you don't know so many. Try to put the U here in front of the tables. Here. Come here a little bit closer, front of the table. If you know the face of the people, so. Okay, maybe you can a little bit push that way. So, Ville, how many people you know? You should find your place from the road. And then for the people that are watching the stream over we have online streaming from this room. So unfortunately we can't really introduce all of you for yourself, but there is a chat room and you can introduce yourself. So now I would like you to find somebody that you don't know. Maybe it's easier for Petri to look like this corner here, and then have a chat of 3 minutes with somebody and ask, for example, what is your favorite open knowledge? That, I don't know if it's boring topic, but this is anyway the Open Knowledge Conference. So find somebody that you don't know at least very well from before and have a nice chat, 3 minutes. ask you to sit down and maybe with your new friends. So find your place from the table. Some people were left on the middle of the room. So this was just to introduce a couple of people. Let me tell you one story from a little bit history. How did I didn't have time to chat with anybody now. I was watching the time and being nervous about the session. But I will tell you a short story on how I came here, just as background, because some of you have been involved in this 4-year journey. It started 2009. We were organizing the first Apps for Finland competition in Finland, and I remember we were in Tampere in small room. It was part of bigger conference, and finalists of the competition were sitting in the room. We had a circle of 10 people, maybe 10 or 12. How many remember being in that room on that day? So out of those 10, we have more than half here. So this was, for me, of course, it was not the start of open knowledge in Finland. That would be too much to say. But personally, for me, it was the start. And since that, it was very funny situation because we organized the competition thinking that, okay, cool, let's make this Apps for Finland competition. Let's ask people to program something using the open government data. Very easy and simple. Just find the sponsors, make some prize money, and put a web page with all the data sets that are open in Finland, and have some buzz in the social media, and then award gala. Very simple concept. Only one point was very difficult: putting up all the data sets of Finland. It was really surprising for me that Finland, the country of openness, the longest history of freedom of information legislation, and so much digital advancement, and there was no open data in Finland, really. I was calling around different government organizations for a couple of months and really doing the hard work to get at least this many, maybe 10 or 15 data sets that could be used on the competition. So that was kind of eye-opening moment for me, and with the other colleagues who were organizing the competition, we decided then to write a manual topic report on how can you open data. If you have some data, how can you open it? And we published the book. Petri Kola and Kari Hintikka were co-authoring it with me in 2010. That was, for me, I'm telling the personal story, that was the year of 2010, and probably I met quite many of you here. I would be standing on this side, but I know quite many of you already on 2010, but it was still very small circles. I could count, maybe not with my fingers, but at least with my memory, I could almost know the people that are somehow involved in the open knowledge business in Finland. But 2011, something happened. It started to grow really bigger, and I think it was the land survey of Finland that made the decision to open the base map data base of Finland. That was in the end of 2011, and that was the time when this open knowledge thing kind of went through, maybe not to the mainstream, but at least beyond the borders of my own memory. So it started to be so that there are many people coming more to the movement of open knowledge, and blog posts and articles in mainstream media and so forth. That was in the end of 2011, and maybe that was also the time when our dear Facebook group Finnish Open Data Ecosystem started to be active. How many of you are or have been following the discussions in that weird Facebook group with weird name? So quite many, and I'm sure that you agree that it's kind of nice to have this virtual community of people who are interested about the same topics. But it's not enough to be virtual, and that was the year 2012, and that was the year of Open Knowledge Festival in Helsinki in Finland, and that was huge. More than 1,000 people all over the world came to Helsinki for a week of meetings like this on different topics on open knowledge. And we just recently visited in the headquarters of Open Knowledge Foundation in Cambridge, and people were really appraising the event here in Helsinki. So many times it was mentioned, like always, that okay festival this and okay festival that. So I think it really left some memory marks for quite many people. And that was maybe half a year ago, and we announced on that event that there will be this Open Knowledge Finland convention, which is smaller mainly for the Finnish audience, and coming together again because festivals was so huge that you couldn't actually have the chance to be in one room even with all the people. But now we are here in one room with 70 people in Tuusula, and this is the place Tuusulajärvi, the lake, Tuusula Lake is where we can swim tonight, maybe after sauna. Here has been this place has history of some, how could you say, artists and intellectuals of the beginnings of the 20th century. They spent here time, like the poet Eino Leino, whose room we can actually use for the sessions. So try to grab that inspiration for your session. We can start now introducing the session, so we can have time enough to find our places for the breakout sessions. Juha.
Thanks. So next we will hear 1-minute introductions of all the breakout sessions, and I would like to ask all the session hosts to come here. So Taru Rastas, Matti Saastamoinen, Teemu Ropponen, Johanna Kotipelto, Anne Kauhanen-Simanainen, Jari Honkonen ja Tuukka Hastrup. If you could all come here in the front, and then you will each get your 1 minute of time. And this is supposed to make it easier for you to select the session. I think it will just make it harder when you know more of what these sessions are about. Jussi Nissila over here will be the clock man, so we have exactly 1 minute. So we will start with tilannekuva ja avoin data. So if you English will be preferred, but you can also use Finnish if you want. So Taru, please.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Taru, and we are holding this session about the situation awareness regarding communications and energy networks, and from the point of view of open data. So the meaning of the idea of the session is to find with you some ideas and solutions on how we could make use of open data, how we could combine different data resources and enrich it by crowdsourcing or whatever means we could have to build up this situation awareness solutions. And we could think that open data, like if we think about different incidents that we are dealing with, let's say storms, so we could think that open data would kind of make it easier to get over with these different incidents if we cooperate with different organizations that are involved in this kind of situations. And so the question is, what sort of open data we need for this, to build up this situation awareness thing, and what sort of interfaces we could build around it. So please come to join us and give ideas how to do this. Thank you.
And next we have Matti Saastamoinen with Municipal Open Data Initiatives. And please speak to the mic so that these people can hear.
Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Matti Saastamoinen. And yes, we have the session 5, Municipal Open Data Initiatives, where we go through different Finnish cities, what is the situation around open data in these cities. For example, Helsinki, Tampere, Jyväskylä, Oulu, Mikkeli and Hämeenlinna will be covered. We will discuss how the opening of data is organized and resourced in these cities. Also, what are the main challenges in opening the data, and how these regions could cooperate with each other. We will also cover the new project which has begun in Tampere, called Open Data Tampere Region Project. And actually, so we are looking for people from different cities around Finland, but also companies and developers are welcome to like share their point of view in opening the data in municipal initiatives. You're all welcome. Thanks.
I think we ran out. Okay, so next is Teemu Rokkonen, Open Source and Open Data in kansalaisaloite.fi.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Teemu from the Ministry of Justice. For the last year, we've had a great constitutional new right, the citizen initiative, which means that law drafts can be passed to the parliament. And we've got 2 great online systems for that, one built by us and one by the Open Ministry. And also some applications being built on top of the open data. We're releasing that as open source just within the next few weeks. So we'd like to hear that what could we do as first steps to really do things in practice. We've got the high-level processes and so on, but how do we do to get the first lines of code actually developed by the community? So that's my goal, to get ideas from you. How do we get it started from a bottom up, not from a top down way? Thanks.
Next we have Johanna Kotifelto, Datan Alliance UKK, that's Data Openers FAQ, something like this.
Thank you. Hi y'all, I'm Johanna, I'm taxman, I'm a civil servant. I have a lot of questions. Some are stupid, some are self-evident, some are obvious. I hope some are good questions. I've tried to learn along a few other civil servants. If I don't get any, then we'll go along with those 7 questions. I have one set of answers. So if you want to hear them, let's go together and find out. I have also promised to gather up the answers and spread them out to the offices of the government so that not everybody needs to start from scratch. Welcome.
Next we have Anne Kalonen-Simonainen and Avoimen Tiedon Ohjelma.
Thank you. Hello everybody, and very nice to meet you all. I'm working in the Ministry of Finance, and open data policy is on a very high level by our government and our government program at the moment. And now we are designing open knowledge program for Finland. So it is a very in the beginning. We haven't started yet. The kick-off will be in April, I suppose, at the moment. And now I want to hear your opinions and your ideas for that. I have 5 questions for this session, and they are concerning, for example, what you find the most important actions and which data resources should be opened next, which one you find most interesting, and which requirements open data gives for the information systems. We can discuss about the national data portal, which we are designing at the moment, and also I'd like to hear how Open Data Foundation would like to take part in this program.
Next we have HSL Navigator and Jari Honkonen.
Actually, okay. So Jari is not here yet. I'm Tuukka Hastrup, the Code for Europe Fellow this year for HSL, and I'll be hosting 2 sessions. The first one is about the HSL Navigator. We are starting a new community project, and we want to brainstorm this for 1 hour. and everyone is welcome to, if you want to make a better rate of us, basically. And the second session, which will then start in an hour, will be about learning how to make visualizations of transport data. So you're also welcome if you haven't done a visualization before, or if you have something, or if you want to do some coding, we'll have like 3 hours, so there's good time to try out new things together and also do brainstorming what to do with new data. I have some new data with me that hasn't been opened before. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that was all. So,
Yes, thanks. So I have still a few more words before we spread out. First of all, it's very, very, very inspiring to see the amount of content what we have here in the convention, because I haven't done anything for that. It's all coming from, we announced before Christmas kind of idea sourcing, what would be nice and interesting to discuss here. And we wanted to underline doing, not only talking. So there are different kind of sessions. Some are more blah, 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 but it also should end up with something that is actionable. So at least maybe some blog posts. This is, I'm challenging the session host to take this message so that when you have these nice, interesting discussions, wrap it up so that what are the key points that you want to take them forward. But then there are some sessions, like for example the public transport data visualization workshop, and later on starting another one, which are actually doing. Those are maybe mostly for the programmers, but there is also always need for other people who can take projects forward. So during this convention, actually, we might see something new coming, and we have tomorrow morning a little bit time that you can flash what you did on the dark hours of the night. I'm challenging you, the programmers. But then, of course, we couldn't fit everything into the agenda, and there are many other topics that might be interesting to discuss. So, for that reason, we have open space, and it's marked in the agenda. It's this unconference space time. So this room between the plenary sessions, when people break out, it's always this room is used for that you can grab the people, suggest topics, and find somebody to talk with you or take something forward. And there is now one flip chart, and there's electronic form of that. If you find the link from the agenda there, it goes to one Etherpad page where you can suggest those topics. And I would like to now, if anybody has something already in mind that you would like to discuss shortly with somebody during this conference, to pick up some, and maybe Antti, if you could write those down on the flip chart. So I started with this public sector information scoreboard discussion that European Union Commission is following how the countries are going with the open data things, and we got mediocre grades for Finland, and there was discussion whether it was scored correctly. So I just marked that maybe if somebody is willing to talk about that. I marked it there. But now, from anybody who has something in mind, yes.
If someone has successfully created business on top of open data, so I would be very keen on hearing experiences and maybe how it has been done and what I should be doing then.
So, open data business. Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Antti Halonen from the Finnish Institute in London. With the Finnish Embassy in UK, we've thought about showcasing some of the Finnish open democracy initiatives in the UK. So if any of you have some interesting initiatives going on in the field of open democracy, please please grab me and let's have a chat about it.
So, open democracy. Anybody else? If no, that's fine. That's just for the starters. And how this actually works is that you go there on the flip chart and mark your name if you are interested in this topic. I think that now for the first session we don't have these, but for later on we will mark the time that okay, this topic will be discussed at this certain time here. So not for now, that starts at 2 o'clock, but go for that flip chart, put the topics and put your names if you are interested in that. And last but not least, I'm really grateful for our supporters and sponsors for this event. It would be impossible to have this nice venue without some of you. There is the Minister of Transport and Communications, somewhere, Taru, thank you. There is one project where I'm working for Ottawa Opisto. It's Open Networks for Learning, and Ryan is working for that project as well. So thank you, European Union. We can put some of our working time for this because of that. And also Finnish Institute in London, Jussi, Antti, have been, these are the main three partners of the event, and then we sold some sponsored tickets. And first, I'm brave one to buy Ville Peltola from IBM, wave your hand. And then there was forum video. I think the ticket went to Elukka Eskelinen, who is not yet here, but the forum video people could wave their hands as well, somewhere there on that corner. And then Sitra Ossi Kuittinen, somewhere in the room. Yes, trying to hide. And then the Ministry of Finance, Anne Kauhanen-Simanainen also, and your colleague. Right. So these are the people and organizations who are supporting this event this time. And we wanted to try to make the ticket as cheap as possible, but of course it includes the food and this nice place here, so it was not extremely cheap, we know that, but I think it's worth the money and investment. And for the future cases, now we have a couple of volunteers here, because not all the soldiers of Open Knowledge has so huge amounts of money, so it was opened also for voluntary people who can help us a little bit and take this event successful and have a little bit cheaper ticket. So volunteers, could you wave also your hands? So there is Sami Majaniemi, Misha Naapek, and Daniel Schild. Right. Jaakko, did you wave your hand? So Daniel is taking photos, Jaakko is trying to keep the internet running, and you others do something that we tell you to do. So, so now I think we will organize again, so those that will be running the next session, come again here in the front, so that people that are following you can gather around you. Ryan, you have something to say. Yeah. So, okay, please the session host come here in front now.
Will the open space sessions also start now?
No, the open space will start later because there are not so many topics yet. But the session host, please come here in the front. I told you to stick here, sorry.
Oh, the other guy said that we could go.
Ah, who told that? Juha.
For that.
So now everybody take eye on the person that you want to follow, and we will come back here. The sessions will run from 2 o'clock sharp until 10 to 4, and coming back here, then we have coffee and a little bit snack in this room and some lightning talks. So it's important that the session people try to quit the session on time, And of course, you can also move. There are like one session that runs for 2 hours, and it's okay to switch in between. But now I think it's time to raise up and follow somebody from here, and we will take you to the next place. Thank you.